Disorder in the court in Florida today, where a man was requesting a retrial in a case of a double murder. It happened today when Joseph Zieler in Lee County elbowed his attorney in the face. You just watched that happen there. Zieler was in court to ask for that retrial after previously being found guilty of murdering an 11-year-old and her babysitter in the 1990s. The judge denied that request and later in the day sentenced Zieler to death. As for an attorney, he says he used to be a boxer and had taken much better shots than Zieler's.
A convicted murderer in Cape Coral, Florida, elbowed his attorney in the face after being convicted to death just minutes before. Great way to prove your innocence. It wasn't the first time that Joseph Zieler made life difficult for his attorney, though. Throughout the trial, he repeatedly stared down cameras in the courtroom. Here's a picture. And if you zoom in closely, great way for him to prove his evidence was by writing the words killer across his teeth. It says killer. And he would flash that disgusting smile, not just at the cameras, but at the jury. Now, the attorney seemed like he was okay after being punched, and he appeared to take the elbow in stride. Now, when I'm practicing attorney, I really hope this doesn't happen to me, and I will not be as nice as this guy was, but he said this to CBS News. I had no idea he was gonna do something like that. Attorney Kevin Shirley said, obviously he's been planning on that, but as he was going down, he said he was sorry he missed. According to the video shown by the Fort Myers News Press, the attorney managed to somewhat keep his composure and return to his table. Now, one of the jurors spoke to NBC News about Zieler's conduct during the trial and how it affected her decision process.
I was 95%. He took the stand. That was it. You know, the expression, you just put your nail in your coffin. He just put 12 in his.
This is the first time we're hearing from a juror.
It was chilling. I mean, right from day one.
Cohen described Zieler as sick, evil, crazy, recalling the moment she knew guilty was the only answer.
Him saying, you know, he didn't commit the crime. He'd never been to the house. He didn't know these people. And then he was screaming, every time I think of this 11-year-old girl. I mean, come on, buddy. I thought you didn't know her. I thought you didn't do this and you weren't at the house.
Zieler's inconsistencies were par for the course in this trial, as was his middle finger, hitting his lawyer in the face, and constantly staring into the camera.
And I would look over and he'd be like, and I'd be like, and just look down really quick. And my heart would start racing.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this: if you're a juror in a murder trial where you think the murderer is an insane and evil individual, probably not a good choice to then put your face on the news because you don't know what kind of connections he has. Also, I think it sort of does open up the idea that, honest to God, juries sometimes it's just a vibe check, and if you fail the vibe check, then you can be sentenced to death. Not that he didn't do it. What he did, he definitely did it. He deserves to be in jail for the rest of his life. I'm firmly against the death penalty, so I don't think he needs to be sentenced to death. I think a more cruel and harsh punishment is to serve the rest of his life in jail. But that's just me. He brutally murdered a young girl, as you heard in that story, and her babysitter, and was linked to that crime years after the fact. Here's a picture of them. But I mean, Ben, I guess as an attorney, you'd have to, especially as a defense attorney, a public defender, you have to represent some really abhorrent and evil people. I don't think that they necessarily expect to get elbowed in the face during the trial, though.
It's true. And a lot of criminal defense attorneys opted to represent this guy because they refused to represent Trump. And I respect that. I respect that a lot. Although this now convicted double murderer with killer emblazoned on his teeth is now the second leading candidate for the Republican presidential nomination. It's incredible.
He's just surpassed Ron DeSantis.
It's incredible. Yeah. This guy's name is Ron DeKilleronius.